5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Level up, 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 level up.
Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Ariel Reviews, and today I'm going to be talking about Spirited Away because it was requested. Spirited Away was written and directed by Hayao Miyazaki, and this movie is centered around this young girl named Chihiro, and it starts off with her and her parents in this car, and they're moving to a new house, and Chihiro, she's like really upset about it. She's whining, she doesn't want to move because she's 10 and she doesn't want to make new friends. She's happy with her old friends, you know, and she doesn't want to go to a new place. But anyway, as they're in the car, her dad is like, hey, like, let's take a shortcut, and he goes down this road, and they end up in the spirit world. And of course they don't know it's a spirit world. As they're walking through it, it looks like an abandoned theme park, and her dad actually says, oh, this looks like an abandoned theme park. And so like they start traveling through, they're exploring, and her dad smells some food, and him and his wife, they sit down, they start eating, and Chihiro is like, I don't want any, because they're like, Chihiro, do you want some food? Like, you want some? Come on. She's like, Daddy has credit cards and everything, and she's like, nah, I don't want any. So she like goes off and she's exploring, and then she comes back, and her parents have turned into pigs because they were eating like pigs, and that's what they get. So she's scared, of course. She runs away, she runs off, and she's left in this mysterious spirit world alone, and she's left to fend for herself. But of course she doesn't actually navigate alone. She meets friends along the way, and the first friend she meets is Haku, aka Bae. Okay, so he tells her that in order to survive in this world, she needs to get a job at the bathhouse. Now the bathhouse is a place where all the spirits come and rejuvenate, you know, to get their strength back so they can defend, protect, destroy, whatever, you know, whatever spirits do. All right, he tells her she needs to get this job at the bathhouse, and he tells her, like, he gives her instructions. She has to go down this side door, go down these side steps, these steps on the side of the bathhouse, so she can go through this side door to meet the boiler man, and she has to press him so he can send her upstairs to get a job. And of course he's like, okay, this little girl, she's resilient, she seems like she's really stubborn, and I think she can handle herself here. So he sends her off with Lynn. That's the third friend she meets, and Lynn is really rude at first. Like, she is so rude to this little girl. But anyway, she helps her find Yubaba's quarters, which is all the way upstairs. Like, she like smuggles her in because they don't like humans in the spirit world, so she has to smuggle her upstairs. And she finally gets up there, and she gets to Yubaba's quarters, right? And she doesn't knock. She's about to open the door, and your doorknob starts talking. Her doorknob looks like her, and she's like, ooh, what a rude little girl. Like, and I can relate to that because I hate when people don't knock. Like, knock on my door, okay, and then I'll tell you if you can come in. But anyway, the door swings open, she's like, come in, and Chihiro, she's like startled, and Yubaba's like, come in, like I guess she does like a spell or something. So Chihiro, she starts flying down the hallway with like her hands up, and she gets to where Yubaba is, and she asks for a job, and she's yelling and she's screaming. Yubaba is like, why should I give you a job and whatever? And she's like, I should turn you into a piglet, you can join your parents. She says something like that. But Chihiro is persistent, and she keeps screaming like, I need a job, give me a job please. And Yubaba doesn't want to do it, but her giant baby wakes up. Because her giant baby wakes up, it forces her to give, well, her baby doesn't force her to give Chihiro a job. She gives Chihiro a job because she wants her baby to go back to sleep, and she wants the commotion to stop. So she gives in, and she gives Chihiro a job, and Chihiro has to sign this contract, and she has to write her name down, and Yubaba takes names and gives people new ones. So she gives Chihiro a new name. Her new name is Sin. Yeah, what an ugly name, right? So after that, so then Haku comes in, right? And he has like this stern look on his face. Like he's like really stern when he's in front of Yubaba and when he's in the bathhouse. And Yubaba tells him to get her started, like get her some clothes or whatever. And so as they're leaving, Chihiro tries to say something to Haku, and he's like, don't talk to me. Like, don't talk to me. But he's just putting on the front. He's the sweetest person ever, for real, to Chihiro. And he's kind of like her guide. Like, he's gonna help her throughout the movie. And, you know, he checks up on her and stuff, make sure she's doing okay, you know. Like Bae would do. And in one scene, he tells her not to forget her name, her real name, Chihiro, because she's gonna need to remember who she is in order to get out of this spirit world. And you'll see that at the end. I'm not gonna tell you what's gonna happen, but you'll see that at the end. And so back to Lin. Lin she's kind of like a guide to Chihiro too. She guides her through the bathhouse because Chihiro is Lin's apprentice now. Like, she was forced on Lin. They made Lin take Chihiro under her wing. She didn't want to do it at first, but she had to. And so Lin, she's not as rude anymore. She quickly becomes big sis material as the movie progresses. Then Chihiro's working in the bathhouse for a little bit. She meets this character named No Face. And No Face is kind of weird. You know, he doesn't speak, he doesn't say anything. And Chihiro leaves the door open for him because she's like, he's standing outside, like he needs to come on in and get out of the rain, because it's raining in this scene. And so he comes in. Long story short, he gets in the bathhouse, he wreaks havoc, he starts doing the most, like he's eating people, he's just doing all kinds of stuff. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. And his only problem is he's lonely, basically, in this movie. He just wants attention, but he doesn't know how to communicate, just like some people in real life. But eventually Chihiro gets that situation under control, thank God. And like Kumaji says, he's right, she's a strong little girl. She has to go through a lot of crap to get her parents back and to go home. You're gonna see that when you watch the movie. And it's a good movie. I really enjoy this movie. This is actually the first Miyazaki film I've ever owned. I got it when I was 11 and I loved it. Like, I never saw a trailer about it or anything. I just picked it up because the cover grabbed my attention and I was like, I need this movie. Back to the movie though. A big concept in this movie is identity, and you'll see that throughout this journey that Chihiro's on. Identity, you know, Yubaba took her name, gave her a new name, and she has to remember who she is. And at one point in this movie, she sort of forgets. It's like a little bit after Yubaba takes her name, and Haku has to remind her of who she is. He hands her a card. It's actually the card she had in the beginning of the movie. She has it while they're in the car, and he hands her that. He hands her clothes, and he's like, you have to remember your name to get out of here. Just like in real life, sometimes you need your friends to tell you, to remind you, like, okay, this is who you are, because sometimes we even forget. But anyway, throughout this movie, you'll see Chihiro grow as a person and sort of come into her own through the events that happen to her on her little journey through this spirit world. And she also gains more confidence in herself. She's really confident by the end of this movie. And she knows who she is, and after these events, she never forgets, and she even helps her friends figure out who they are. Anyway, I enjoyed this movie. It was great. This movie was great. I loved it. The soundtrack is phenomenal. I love the art style. Everything was so detailed. Everything. Every design on the wall, like on the floor, like on the ceiling. Everything was great. Like the art was perfect. It was extremely detailed. The voice actors were great. Miyazaki always has some great voice actors though. His stuff is always great. I love his work, guys, if you didn't know. This movie is a great movie for everyone to watch. It's rated PG, but that's not why it's a great movie for everybody to watch. It's just the messages in the movie, and overall it's written really well. I would definitely recommend this movie for a person who wants to get into anime as well, because it's just that good. Like, this movie will make you want to see more. This movie is perfect. 10 out of 10, y'all. 10 out of 10. Watch it. Go check it out right now. Like, drop what you're doing and check this movie out. You're gonna love it. Also, Howl's Moving Castle is another great one by him. He has so many great ones. Princess Mononoke, The Secret World of Arrietty, Castle in the Sky. Marnie was there. Everything is great. So go check these movies out. I am your favorite black girl on this internet. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out.